finished getting the motor back in the car with everybody at GPI, and now it is time to get the fuel system in. If you are increasing your horsepower, you definitely need to add more air, fuel, and spark. I know a lot of people go with boost or even NA that don't do a fuel system, and then you can't even enjoy all the horsepower because you're only limited to a certain amount and it'll cause problems down the road. So this helps with performance and reliability, and it's better just to do it right off in the beginning rather than running into issues down the road. All right, so I decided to go with the company called Deechworks, and they are another company in the United States. They're actually out of Oklahoma, so super close to where I'm at right now in Arkansas with GPI or Gwatney Performance. Deechworks was super fast at replying to me and very helpful. There are some supply chain issues with other companies, so they have these in stock, ready to go, and I'm super excited to get on my car. So I think the fuel system's like one of the very last things that we have been waiting on installing. Fuel pump hardware kit. I was just talking to Max, who he is the tech here at GPI that was helping me install my motor and doing everything in the shop. And he was talking about the Camaro being a return style, and then in that case we will need a external regulator, but we're not really sure if it's a return style just yet. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through this because I don't know too much about fuel systems, but Max is gonna help us get it all installed, and I'm here to learn and see how it all works. This is Injectors. This is like what you open it as, and it's a shiny sticker. We chose to go with the Deechworks 90-pound injectors because of the power output I am making, and I am running E85. So I am gonna have a flex fuel sensor and like a flex tune basically, so I'm able to run E85 and 91 wherever I want. Yes, I could have pushed more compression and power if I was just strictly on race gas on E85, but I didn't want to do that because I go on a lot of rallies and I go to a lot of events and I like to drive my car really far, so I'd rather compromise power and compression for making my life way easier every single day. And we chose 90-pound injectors because I am going with E85, so E85 pushes around 15 to 20% more fuel than 91 does. Yes, this is maybe a little bit more than what I would need for my current power level, but then that means we have more wiggle room in the future just in case I am adding more power. I wouldn't have to change out my injectors. This thing's massive. This thing's huge. Oh, and there's the return right there. All right, well, that's like the first box done, and we also have a second box, and I assume this would be the plumbing kit because with this Deechworks kit, in the description it said it was required to do the plumbing kit, and even when I tried to buy the module, they were like, hey, you need the plumbing kit. So try to save money and it just doesn't work out. Oh yes, plumbing kits are really satisfying because I love like the fittings and everything, which like I ordered more Earl's parts for plumbing my Motion Raceworks catch can. I'm gonna put like Earl's fittings in the valve covers and with like nice black hosing, and it just looks really nice in your engine bay. No, what is this? Fuel pressure regulator. Well, it's like max new. I mean, this quality looks really nice. Sorry, there's so many loud cars in the background. I am at a shop. And we got an inline filter. See, this filter looks really pretty. Now, see starting it? Got a fuel pressure gauge in this tiny cute little box. Then lastly, all the line for the plumbing. I'm excited. All these fittings are actually very expensive, so we'll go through those when we're installing everything, but look how massive this bag is of fittings. This fuel system is basically designed for the 2010 to 2015 Camaros, for the V6 and the SS. If you guys don't know, I do have a 416 that I've been working on with GPI. I'm building like a max effort NA deal, ready for road course with lots of torque, lots of power. Time to get all these D-Works parts installed, and I will have all the information in the description of this video if you guys are interested in getting this fuel kit for your Camaro. And also feel free to leave any comments of any questions or DM me with any questions. I'd be happy to help you guys out. Well, Max said step one is taking out the drive shaft. We're gonna try to make it not fall on us. So he's just doing one bolt on each side at a time. And he's taking out the drive shaft to eventually drop the fuel tank. And we have to drop the fuel tank because the fuel pump is inside of it. And then it comes from the top, which like a lot of people, well, it's coming out good. A lot of people cut out like the back seat in Camaros because it has easier access to the fuel pump. But I guess we're doing it the correct way.
We do things the correct way here.
GPI does it the correct way. It's good. So I don't have to cut apart my car more than what it already is. You added some lube on it?
Lube is your best friend. Okay, you come on this side. You hold that in.
It's gonna fall.
It ain't gonna fall.
Oh.
It's all yours.
Yay! Dang it, now I want a new one.
No.
All loose dirt. Now.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Now I can clean it. Well, we undid this line from that, so we had to undo these lines to drop the fuel tank. And then he somehow found these lines and pulled it all the way back so we have room to reach those other lines. You're gonna walk us through your mental process of this? You just find all the things around the fuel tank?
I have to take these lines off, so I'm moving that out of my way so it's not annoying.
Because these lines are connected to this. Yay! More things to clean. What is it?
There's two plastic lines where my hand's at right now. They're up here. They go from the top of the fuel tank to evap canister. And you gotta pop both of these off. And I'd be lying if I said it was fun and or easy. But I got paid. Or I just want to watch you struggle at least. Look up there and you'll see a white connector, plastic connector. See that?
Yeah.
All right, take that one off. And once you get that one off, there's another one above it.
How do you take it off? Is there like a clip or something?
Pushy tab right there? There's a big pushy tab on that one.
On the other, oh, okay. Is this a button to like push in far?
You gotta,
God, I don't have enough finger strength for this.
I don't either. That's why I'm letting you do it first. Hopefully you'll loosen up for me. And I can just back, oh, I told you.
Oh, God.
Why are your thumbs so small?
Huh?
Why are your thumbs so small?
They're not that small.
Look at that.
Oh, you should do this.
It makes it worse because there's all this dirt that's up there. It makes the connector like a pain to get apart. Who knows, you might even get it.
Oh, it's in the clip?
I
You got it?
Yeah. Small.
So it's that clip way up there.
There's a clip right above that one that you gotta get out. It's the same style, it's smaller though.
Okay.
You see it? Right above it.
Oh, joy. This is fun.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm having a great time. But you know, it's like above it, so it's
I
kind of
can't even like get my hand around it really.
What's up? Please.
Whole body's shaking, getting this one little clip off.
I'm trying just to like jam my thumb through the plastic.
Damn thing not running yet?
Sorry. Ah, thank you.
You got it?
Oh, one of them.
Now, how about that?
Hey. Trying to work here.
Just in case we die for insurance.
Good thinking, good thinking. Those two lines are going to come with us that we took out.
Right.
And that connector that I stuffed up there somewhere, this connector. So we got to make sure all this goes over and comes with us. And then the filler net
Goes over like that way,
yeah,
you're saying?
that way. I'm going to have to come down with this, and it's going to have to slide like
that way.
Like at an
down,
angle.
yeah.
We should be good.
These two and those three.
We're gonna find out. Okay, we're just on the nipples, so I'm gonna let this down a little bit more. That back end might drop, so watch.
What do you mean on the nipples, these ones?
On the cradle right there, see that? So I'm gonna let it down a little bit more so I can get more of an angle.
Okay.
That back end might drop, so don't let it hit you.
Okay. Oh my god.
I kicked that. We're gonna set it over that way.
We're gonna carry
You
it?
ready? Nope.
Oh, thank God it's not that heavy. Well, we got the gas tank out of the car. These are the connectors that we were struggling with. You can see clearly here that they have like a little push tab underneath. Push that in and you have to pull them outwards. So that's really hard because the packaging's really tight, so there's like no room. And then when you're pulling the tank out, you just have to watch for this line getting caught. And it's super dirty, full of dust from when I went on the dry lake beds in Vegas. This is basically where the module is gonna go, and this is also your rear passenger back seat. So that's why a lot of people cut an opening in the back seat to reveal that. It like looks worse, but like at least someone can't get all over you.
Take this off.
Spin it? Is there like a tool like?
It's called a hammer and a screwdriver.
And nick it that way?
Yeah.
That looks fun.
I usually hit myself.
Well, I don't want to stab you either.
Try not to dig into the tank because you can put a hole in the tank. It's kind of moving.
Really?
There you go.
Oh God.
Roll
There's a
this
lot of gas in
out.
there.
Yeah, it's gonna spill.
What do you want?
Can you roll that drain bucket over here?
Yeah.
Put it in there, and you can turn it upside down and fuel will come out of it.
Is that for me?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What's that for? What?
Oh my God.
Go back.
Well, you figured out how to slide the module in
You can tell mount.
and replace for the stock one. And we're gonna knock it in place.
Put this on, and then we gotta
Put a line in the feed and the return.
Feed and the return, and then we gotta wire this to this. We're gonna cut this up and use this gray, which is your factory power wire. This pink ground wire, we're not gonna use that. Then we're gonna use these two wires right here for the level sensor that will tie in. We're gonna get eyelets and we're gonna have to solder and cut and do some wiring right here so the ECM, like factory ECM still sees it. And then we're gonna use the factory positive to trigger both of these relays, which will then send voltage. These go to a pump. And we gotta run a ground from there to here. And this should work.
So lots of wiring.
Yes, wiring. Hopefully it works. I don't like how it's angled, but I can't turn it no more because of the line. Take this.
You want me to hold it?
Maybe. Oh, dude, it fits so well. Now we're gonna have to beat it back on. Get it started a little bit. Ah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks.
That's it.
That moved. Stalls it.
That's kind of pretty. These have to run back to the front.
Right.
These two are the low.
You're just matching colors for what you need.
Yeah.
And they're all facing one way. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. You give me a minute.
Does it work?
I mean, it's spun on there. The fuel lines are going to come down, and I would really like to be able to run them on the inside of this to keep it as far away from the exhaust as possible. You're going to have to put your fuel filter like somewhere in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be mounted right here. But yeah, we're gonna have the feed and the return right here. I'm gonna put the line, that little green tab one, that was like connected right here. The other one, the smaller one, that one. We're just gonna leave it open right there, and it'll vent right there, and it'll be okay. You're doing good. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Alan. All right, now going back in is not gonna be as fun because we're gonna have to like
actually fit it.
Shove it in ourselves. But whenever we do it, you gotta remember to get these over. Maybe.
No, or you keep going.
Gotta make sure it's clipped. We're good.
Push the jack forward, man.
Oh.
Yay.
Okay, are those two, is the filler net good in those 3 lines?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, it was much easier with 3 people, thank you. There's that bolt where the tank holds, which is over here behind the axle and the diff, and then the other one is right there.
I'm gonna try to grab an A-dale clamp to hold that there. We can use some zip ties back here just to make it look less trashy. Okay, I'll do this. Is that gonna be tight? We're gonna have these going all the way down this.
All right, so we're putting together the Deechworks fuel filter, and you have to put the spring on to here, which this would eventually connect to this piece, kind of like a battery would. And we have to press this within the system and then put the cap on top. And the little kit did come with like an extra O-ring. That's just in case those aren't there. So just do 1 O-ring on both threaded ends. And then I'm gonna put grease on where the threads are. It's basically how you put it together. And then the filter presses in. Press the filter in. And then hopefully this filter never has to come off my car. We're only gonna have to take off the filter if there is more issues or metal shards, something bad happens. Just put this in the vise. Just loosely tighten it just enough so I can tighten the end cap of the filter, because it's really hard to hold the whole system and tighten it at the same time. And then that's what the fuel filter should look like once it is all put together. Why are every single one of these all different sizes? Well, those are on there. So now we're trying to figure out where the fuel filter goes. And feed the line through it, and then we have to make fittings for it.
Stay away from the header.
Yeah, and we removed these 2 fuel lines in there, and here they are, because we don't need them anymore since we're replacing them with the whole new plumbing kit. Drill bit's flexing, but
Yeah, a little bit.
woo!
Hey, that one lines up. We know how to do stuff. This is gonna front. This is where we're gonna cut in the middle of this tape.
So it lines up with the fuel filter.
We can mark it if you want me to, just so you know. But.
Right there. Ready?
You got it?
Max, we're so close to the finish line.
Fish. Is it flush? I mean, it's
A little further.
Yeah, I'm going as far as you can. Just do one of them things. So it doesn't hurt your hand nearly as bad.
Smart.
It gives you extra strength.
Magic rags.
Magic rags. Oh, you're close. Oh. Yay. Maybe a PTFE.
This one went a lot better than the one off the car, to be honest.
It's because you know what you're doing now.
Maybe. It's the whole line's twisting.
Yeah, now I go it.
It's good.
Ta-da!
Ooh. Ooh. You gotta lube that up or no? Just a nipple piece so you don't have to. I'm learning things. Righty tighty.
Wow!
This is so we know how much fuel pressure we got.
The gauge goes on the regulator. Dang, so I'm gonna have a gauge there. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, hopefully we make it.
Now it's like I have a turbo or something.
No. No.
So all the turbo guys always have gauges everywhere.
Yeah, half of them don't even know what the fuck they're used for. It's like, yeah, I got gauges.
Literally.
Nut.
All right, so we're putting the fuel regulator right here, and this is how we're gonna tell how much fuel gets delivered to my motor to make the certain amount of power.
Yes.
And then there's a little boost gauge on the side of that to where you can crank it up just in case I do have boost and more power. It's not a boost gauge though.
Boost reference.
Boost reference.
Boost. We're still gonna have to take this apart so I can put. Please fit how I want you to fit. I think this will actually look kind of good. We're gonna run those lines up, and then the skinny return is gonna go on the bottom, go right out, and then we're gonna.
Yeah, because the fittings are gonna be tight in there, huh?
Yeah, it'll be kind of a pain in the ass, but once we get it, we should be fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna run feed right there. We will go out of here, out.
The return on the right
No,
side?
this like your feet, like your return is just gonna go right here.
Oh, underneath.
So whenever you get to whatever fuel pressure you're supposed to be at, the valve will open and it dumps straight down back into the tank.
Sick.
Now the feed's gonna come to right here. The long line is gonna go right here, and then we're gonna have
The feed's on the left side?
and then on this right side is gonna be still the feed, but we're gonna run it to the valve covers. Or the valve covers
Oh, so the feed
fuel
goes
rail.
all the way through?
Yes.
To the fuel rail?
That's your pressure, and as it gets so much in there, it'll open the valve inside of it and dump the fuel back.
Got it.
And then we're gonna have to put the 85 sensor in between here, on this side to here. We're gonna have to put it somewhere in here.
So much easier to watch. All right, so now I'm installing the Deechworks fuel injectors. These are 90-pound injectors, and I'm putting them into the MSD fuel rails. And for this, I'm just putting a little bit of transmission assembly lube on both sides of the O-rings of the fuel injectors. And then it has these little plug-ins for when we put it in the engine, we'll plug it in. And then you want to install these fuel injectors on the fuel rails before we put it on the car, because this is what will hold down the entire unit. If this is on the car, you won't be able to get these out. I was just starting.
You can start them by hand with this if you're just like using your fingertips. Just trying to
Beautiful. So those are started in by hand, and then Alright guys, I'm starting to put together the coil mount bracket. I'm leaving it all sort of loose just so we have to figure out exactly where they are going to go. I got this kit from Guani Performance. Proform Factory Performance Parts makes it. I will have this product link in the description of the video. But I'm just going through the instructions, which we love to see instructions because then we know exactly how to put it on the car. So obviously 4 of these brackets go on each one, and I'm just mounting them loosely by hand, so then once they're all kind of on this, then we can figure out exactly where they actually go, so we can mount it up on the valve covers and figure out where the coils have to go to be proper, because if I just tighten it all by hand right now, it could be all off and wonky, sideways. Yeah, pretty simple.
These are a little baffle that we built specifically for these Proform valve covers we use. Put a radius on that so it matches up nicely with the radius on the end of the valve cover. Make a little gasket so it seals from the inside, and then we can use an ORB fitting to secure it to the valve cover. So we have great breathing. We don't get oil in the catch can. It's fairly easily installed. So here's your rocker arm. Here's your spring. You got a little bit of oil splash off the spring, but that thing's sitting right there, so you're not, that's in one of the most protected areas in the valve train to not get rocker splash. What I do is I thread this through the gasket. That threaded in there. I'll set the component in, start the threads in it, and then we'll hold the gasket in place. Start it in there, nice and straight. And what I like to do, just to be on the safe side, since we're done with this nice powder coating on these covers, put a little bit of masking tape there.
So you're holding the inside and then
Correct.
Just tightening the outside
Right,
piece.
and it's going to thread right into that fitting with the opening facing down. Hold power on that, and then I'll get my fitting to the orientation I want to match the other cover, so it looks all uniform, because I know how you're all about some aesthetics. There we go.
And that piece fits very flush because it's like rounded to fit the inside of the valve cover.
Right, well, we match the radius on the cover, and then we put a gasket in there, and then so we've got plenty of room for air. There's more area here than there is in the whole of the fitting, so we're not restrictive there. We're in a good place where we're not going to get a lot of oil splash into the catch can, and our crankcase is going to vent marvelously.
Woohoo! And it looks really nice once it's all. You don't see the inside piece from the outside.
Nice Motion Raceworks can from my friends over at Motion Raceworks, I understand.
Heck yeah.
Sent that over to us. So it'll be a really nice crankcase ventilation system. You're not going to have any problems there.
Awesome. I was excited to see this car get started.
Yeah.
Today?
I don't know. Depends on how fast you and Max work. You guys
I know.
I kind of thought we'd have it on dyno maybe today, but you guys been over here. You guys been over here. And
we're having
filming
fun.
stuff on the camera.
It's because of the camera. The camera slows us down. It's all for you guys. All right, well, we finally got the entire Geechworks fuel system installed on the car. Now the next step after this is to get the car installed. The Geechworks fuel system was relatively easy to install. I believe the plumbing kit was the most difficult to install. Right when we started the car, it went to 60 PSI, so we just dialed it down a bit because we didn't want it too insanely high. I don't need to use the entire system because of the power I am putting out. I can have much more power at the end of the day in order to run the full capabilities of the system. So the regulator's all set, all the lines worked out. The PTFE settings definitely were a pain to install, and that's just all hand. Obviously the fittings are great quality. I haven't had any trouble with those. Guys, the plumbing kit came with a huge assortment of fittings, definitely more than what we needed in the entire kit. We combined this Deechworks fuel system into the MSD fuel rails, and for the fuel rails we did like the crossover basically in the front of the motor, and that was with the MSD kit, and then we connected the feed lines into the rear side of the fuel rails through the regulator. So then the return line of the fuel system was what actually is reading the fuel pressure in the gauge. After all, the only thing you guys see in the engine bay at the very end is the fuel regulator. And I definitely recommend you guys getting a tune at the very least before you start your car after installing a fuel system. Tuning is very, very important when you go with an aftermarket fuel system, so be sure you guys go get a proper tune from a professional. But feel free to leave any comments and questions down below in this video. I was here through the entire process of the fuel system, so I can answer any questions you guys have. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.